Welcome back to the wild roller coaster that is Florentino Perez's Real Madrid. The aristocracy of Spanish football, the kings of Europe, and the home of football's top superstars for as long as you can remember. This is part 2 of Real Madrid versus Real Madrid, the 2000s Galacticos against CR7 squad of the 2010s. Let's see how these two blockbuster sides actually got on out on the pitch.
The Knights of the Real Resurrection!
We are dealing with the biggest names in football here, folks. From Ronaldo Nazario to Cristiano Ronaldo and Robinho to Roberto Carlos. History tells us where there are big stars, big money and big fame, sometimes there's a fine line that can be crossed between hero and prima donna. We wonder if that was the case between 2003 and 2006 for Real Madrid's famous Galacticos, as quite frankly, the best team in the world on paper completely capitulated, going 3 seasons on the bounce without a trophy. Ouch. Cristiano Ronaldo is often seen driving in super flash cars, posing in his own underwear line, and of course talking himself up in interviews, like a prima donna would. But there is clearly something that separates him from the rest. You see, arrogance aside, Cristiano Ronaldo is famed for his unmatchable humility in the form of his work ethic, and maybe that desire is what kept the Real Madrid side of the 2010s in one piece, and so successful for so long, unlike their counterparts from the 2000s. Let's look at some quick facts before we go into the key details. Between 2000 and 2006, Florentino Perez's reign saw 2 La Liga titles and 2 European Cups, or 1 European Cup when you consider the 2000 title was before Perez was able to have any effect at all. From the moment CR7 arrived in 2009, his departure in 2018, Real Madrid won just 2 La Liga titles. However, in that same period, the club managed to win 4 European Cups. The 2000 to 2006 Galactico side failed to win a single Copa del Rey title. Cristiano's side managed to win 2. It's not all in the numbers, but what are your thoughts on that? Do the trophies do the real talking? Are the trophies all that matter? Sure, Ronaldo's 9-year stint was 33% longer than the 6-year Galactico spell under Perez in the early 2000s, but CR7's side still won well over double what the original Galacticos could manage, including 4 FIFA Club World Cups. From this point of view, CR7's side reigned supreme. Why such disparity? Well, that takes us back to the prima donna debate. You see, after a Champions League triumph in 2002 and a La Liga trophy in 2003, the Galacticos fell silent. There are many theories to suggest why. Some say the dressing room simply had too many stars, a bit like Chelsea at the moment, but on steroids multiplied by 10. Others suggested that the talent wasn't a problem, but the lack of defensive talent might be, claiming Perez's policy was simply populism to dazzle supporters into backing him. Yes, they had amazing attacking quality, but a lack of signings at the other end of the pitch came back to bite Madrid, as their domestic form proved poor. Perhaps Perez had got in too deep. He sacked Champions League winning manager Del Bosque in 2003, to the surprise of many. 4 different managers and directors of football came and went in the 4 following years. Beckham was a great player, but he wasn't better than Luis Figo, and both played on the right wing. Was Perez putting marketing above management? Was Beckham bought as an asset that simply disrupted the rhythm of the team? What about the competition at the time? Valencia won the league in 2002 and 2004, but with points hauls of 75 and 77 respectively. Not exactly great numbers. Barca then took the title in 2005 and again in 2006, but their peak was still to come. Madrid simply had failed, don't you think? Perhaps for many reasons, Florentino's dream came crashing down. Eventually he left the club, and after some embarrassing trophyless seasons, he would return to redeem himself in 2019. So, is this Cristiano Ronaldo team that much better? Well, maybe not. Let's look at it skeptically. They spent fortunes on the best players on the planet again. They only really had Barcelona as elite level competition, and yet, in 9 seasons of peak CR7, they could only win 2 leagues and 2 cups? Really? Is this the best team in the world, or the best Madrid of all time? It sounds like it's not even the best team in the country. Well, it might not have been, because unfortunately for Cristiano, a little fella called Lionel Messi was also in the prime of his footballing career, and at this point, he was playing his trade in the same league with Barcelona. In the same 9-year period, a pretty unstoppable Barca team romped to 6 out of 9 league titles, 5 out of 9 Copa del Rey titles, and another 2 European Cups of their own. But this Barca team have went down as one of the greatest club sides of all time. Tough competition for Ronaldo. Historical treble winners under Pep Guardiola, they were led by magical Messi, and Xavi and Iniesta at the very top of their game. This was probably unlucky for CR7. The other lofty counter-argument for Los Blancos is that in the same period they won 4 European Cups, a truly astonishing achievement, even doubling those won by Barca during the same period. Does that not make it even more impressive? Cristiano Ronaldo was key in huge European games as Real went on a monumental run of 4 Champions Leagues in 5 seasons. They were almost invincible in Europe and were feared by the very best on the continent, at times striding past the likes of Liverpool, Juventus, and their very own noisy neighbours Atletico Madrid. Oh, and this is in the finals, by the way. Finals we're talking about. It's light work for the kings of Europe. Domestically, between 2010 and 2018, La Liga winners always had at least 90 points come the end of the season. At least. Usually those numbers hit the high 90s, and on one occasion each, both Barca and Real Madrid won the league as Centurions, with an incredible total of 100 points. Quite frankly, they both would have smashed the Galacticos of the early 2000s into oblivion. Wouldn't you say so? The whole world watched the Barcelona and Real Madrid Clásicos with all-time levels of expectation, anticipation, and astonishment during the period of CR7 and Messi. Not just the biggest names, they were the best teams, and their games were the best quality football on the planet. For a whole decade, it was tantalizing football headlined by Messi and Ronaldo, 2 generational talents that dominated the Ballon d'Or awards for years, as they both fought to be named the best player in the world and the best player of all time. It was simply football on a different level. So what do you think? The Galacticos or CR7 superstars? Florentino Perez's dream of the early 2000s or his second coming in the 2010s? For us, the Galacticos, yes, they were iconic, but the proof is in the pudding. Cristiano's side take the spoils in every competition all day long. From a league campaign to a one-off final, we don't see the 2010s team losing, and their domestic trophy record is only slightly less impressive than it should be because of the wonder of Lionel Messi. Can you see it any other way? Which team was better? Maybe you think they were both failures. Surely not. Let us know in the comments below and get your suggestions in for our next head-to-head video. Stay tuned.